It was the 10th year of the Prophet Muhammad's peace be upon him mission in Makkah. After years of relentless opposition and persecution, he hoped to find a more welcoming reception in the city of Taif. Taif was known for its fertile lands and influential tribes, and the Prophet, peace be upon him, believed that if its leaders embraced Islam, the message could spread far and wide. With Zayd ibn Haritha, his loyal companion and adopted son, the Prophet, peace be upon him, undertook the long journey to Taif. They walked through the rocky valleys and barren desert, enduring the harsh heat of the Arabian sun, with hope in their hearts. Upon arriving in Taif, the Prophet, peace be upon him, sought out its three chief leaders, Abdi'Alail, Masud, and Habib, sons of Amr. With gentleness and eloquence, he invited them to Islam, explaining the oneness of Allah and the message of peace and salvation. But instead of listening, they mocked him. One said, "Could Allah not have found someone better than you to send as a prophet?" Another sneered, "If you are truly a prophet, I dare not speak to you for fear of punishment. And if you are lying, then you are not even worth my time." Despite their harsh words, the Prophet, peace be upon him, remained composed. He left them, hoping to speak to others in the city. Word of the Prophet's, peace be upon him, mission spread quickly through Taif. Rather than treating him with the respect due to a guest, the people turned hostile. They incited their children and slaves to drive him out of the city. A crowd gathered, jeering and shouting as they followed the Prophet, peace be upon him, and Zayd. The crowd turned violent. Stones were hurled with hatred and cruelty. Every step became a trial. Blood poured from the Prophet's, peace be upon him, head and body, soaking his sandals. Zayd tried to shield him, but he too was struck and wounded. Together they stumbled out of Taif, humiliated and injured. Finally, they found refuge in an orchard just outside the city, owned by two wealthy men from Makkah. Though they were not Muslims, they felt some pity for the Prophet, peace be upon him, and allowed him to rest there. The Prophet, peace be upon him, sat down beneath a tree. His heart was heavy with sorrow, but he turned to Allah in one of the most poignant prayers recorded in Islamic history. "O Allah, to you alone I complain of my weakness, my lack of resources, and the humiliation I have suffered at the hands of these people. O most merciful of those who show mercy, you are the Lord of the weak, and you are my Lord. To whom do you leave me? To a stranger who shows me hostility, or to an enemy in whose hands you have placed my affairs? If you are not displeased with me, I do not care what happens to me, but your protection is more vast for me. I seek refuge in the light of your face, by which all darkness is dispelled, and everything in this world and the next is put in order. Let me never incur your anger or your displeasure. Yours is the right to reproach until you are pleased. There is no power and no strength except in you." Moved by their plight, the orchard owners sent a Christian servant named Addis with a tray of grapes. Addis, seeing the Prophet's, peace be upon him, suffering, approached with compassion. The Prophet, peace be upon him, took a grape and said, "Bismillah," before eating. Addis was startled. "These are words I have never heard in this land," he said. The Prophet, peace be upon him, asked where he was from. "I am from Nineveh," Addis replied. The Prophet, peace be upon him, smiled. "You are from the land of my brother Yunus Jonah, the son of Matta." Astonished, Addis said, "How do you know of Yunus?" "He was a prophet of Allah, just as I am," the Prophet, peace be upon him, explained. Addis was so moved by the Prophet's, peace be upon him, character and knowledge that he kissed his hands and feet and embraced Islam on the spot. As the Prophet, peace be upon him, rested, angel Gabriel appeared with a message from Allah. With him was the angel of the mountains. Jibril said, "O Muhammad, Allah has seen what your people have done to you. He has sent the angel of the mountains to do as you command." The angel of the mountains addressed the Prophet, peace be upon him. "If you wish, I will crush Taif between the two mountains surrounding it." Despite his pain and suffering, the Prophet, peace be upon him's heart was filled with mercy. He raised his hands and said, "No. I hope that one day their descendants will worship Allah alone without associating any partners with him." Years later, the people of Taif would remember the Prophet's, peace be upon him, mercy. Many of them, or their descendants, embraced Islam during the conquest of Makkah and beyond. What could have ended in vengeance became a story of forgiveness, patience, and the power of hope. This story stands as a timeless reminder, even in the darkest moments, kindness and compassion can triumph over hatred.